You're waiting for YouTube to go, get off the other platform.
So come on over to YouTube where we'll continue this discussion. See you in a minute. You have to go to YouTube and pump in the Sawalha-Adderleys or go to my story and click on the link. See you there.
Hello everyone, Kylie Mitchell. Hello Faith Goodman, Zoe, Julie M, Ellery Jones, Hazel Marbon, Tina Davis, Sarah Withington, Gillian Barras, Margaret O'Brien, Keely Windle, Shelley Silver, Margaret O'Brien, Linda Fissett. How are you?
Good morning. Who was over on Instagram just now? I just paid Mark a wonderful compliment and he got really annoyed with me.
Because...
And then Charlotte Higgins told me that he's eaten Nutella in the vlog last night. 8 to 9 spoonfuls.
I think if you watch it, you'll find that's a gross exaggeration. Sandra Muck, welcome. Sandra Muck, can you write Sandra Muck down? Muck.
Sandra Muck.
Yeah, Sandra Muck. Welcome. Nadia will destroy your name later through the medium of dance and song.
Or should I do a dance?
Yeah, I think dance and song would be a good one.
Maybe what we should do, just specially for December,
anyone
that joins the family guest area
gets a moonwalk.
Song, no, and a dance. Not a moonwalk, because I can't do a moonwalk. We have to do some sort of a dance.
Why can't you do a moonwalk?
Or I suppose the person who becomes the family member can tell us what dance they want.
Get your pecs out for the subs, says Chelsea girl.
What's the name? Anne.
Nutella Naughty Naughty, says Ellery Jones.
Was it Anne Mook?
Who's that? Debbie Sanderson. Yeah, sorry, it's, here we are. It's Sandra Muck.
Sandra Muck, you get to choose what dance we do when we sing your welcome song at the end of this hangout.
Debbie Sanderson, Mark fell off the Nutella wagon last night. Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Good.
Thank you for looking out
I'm
for me.
glad that they tell me what you get up to. Because otherwise you're a lying little toad, aren't you?
No, oh my God!
Mark! Don't, you made me shit myself. Oh, God, literally my heart is pumping. I hate you so much.
Morning.
Can we turn that osteoarthritis thing off? It's depressing me.
Okay. Jesus Christ.
It's got an osteoarthritis bloody advert running with the operation. And my knee's twinging.
Dobbed it there, Mark. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Morning. Oh, guys, it's nearly Christmas. What can I say?
Can't find a bloody pen.
Look.
Who's done their Christmas shopping?
There's a pen.
It doesn't work. Who's done their Christmas shopping?
Killed with anxiety, Mark.
Jacqueline Foley.
Oh, you are. Oh,
right,
sorry,
well, you
Jacqueline
know what?
Foley.
Just focus in on this for the next half hour and just give your brain a break from it. Let's just get off that track.
We're gonna talk about
distract.
trees later. If you can find a tree, we're gonna talk about trees. I love a tree. You've probably seen from my Instagram. I
Lots of people feeling anxious today.
Really? Yeah, it's that sort of. We're almost at that nether. I was saying to Nad yesterday, going through the newspapers for the Sunday show. My heart went out to the number of people who will be reading articles that assume that everyone's got a busy Christmas, has got huge families, is in relationships, has a busy social life. I mean, I don't have a busy social life, and I felt the pressure last night. I was like, fucking hell, I'm not... Can we stop banging on about this all the time? And okay, it's good to have some of it, because the vast majority of people do all of that stuff, but why can they not cater at all for anyone who's alone or do you know what I mean? There's no acknowledgement of it in gift buying, in the advice of where to go on holiday.
It's all around romance, all around family, and not everybody has a family, not everybody has romance.
Yeah.
So it must be an incredibly
and there'll be so
excluding
many. Yeah, and I think there are so many people in every year who lose something, whether it be literally lose someone through death, or lose someone through a relationship buckling, lose a pet, lose a job. There's so many things that just, and that's I'm not saying there need to be articles or pieces about doubling down on the misery potentially of that, but catering for people, making people feel like you're not the only one. Do you know what I mean? I think it's something that, I've contacted AA to see if I can do half an hour to an hour on the AA helpline. I mean, they get so many people do it on Christmas Day.
Great.
Just to sit and just talk to people.
I would like to do that.
Yeah. Well, I think you can do it for many, many
I
charities.
tried to go on the Samaritans, but they've got too many people.
Here you go, Tina Davis, going to
Sharon
miss...
Fuller, we will sing happy birthday to your son, Callum.
Tina Davis, going to miss my brother-in-law who passed of COVID this year. It's the first Christmas without him.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's a tricky time because it's... And I think what makes it trickier is the extent to which the media focuses on belonging and being in relationships and being in groups and all that kind of stuff. Do you know what I mean? I think that kind of underlines whatever you're missing. So maybe could that be part of the anxiety, that we're heading towards something that's actually quite pressured, isn't it, Christmas? It's quite a pressure. It's got to be perfect, it's got to be this, it's got to be that. I don't know. It's just a thought. Nadia came down with a really, really upbeat story, which I avoided, about the inventor of the AstraZeneca who said there's worse to come. I was like, cheers for that, Nad.
No, but that's how the headline comes at you. But actually, it is important what she's saying. She's saying we mustn't rest on our laurels. The scientific world was warning leaders across the globe for a long time before this pandemic that they weren't prepared for a pandemic. So basically, she was saying, we don't know. There could be one down the line that comes that is potentially even worse. And let's not be unprepared in the way that we were before. And I think that it's important that we do talk about that.
Right.
Because we need to keep the pressure on governments that they don't take their eye off the ball.
Pandemic preparation.
I mean, actually, we have a number of like factories, don't we? Literally vaccine making factories that are quite extraordinary. Apparently, we can produce a massive number of vaccines.
Right.
And I think the plans were there, but I think when the pandemic hit, they actually pushed through and got them finished off.
Yeah.
This is what John Campbell had been saying.
Yeah.
And I suppose that's what she's saying. She's saying, we mustn't take our foot off the gas. But if you were to just see the headline, it's just like, there's one coming and it's going to be worse. No, she's just saying, let's be prepared in case there is.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I just wanted to read Tamara's message. I've lost both of my parents and best friend this year, and I'm struggling around Christmas.
Oh,
I'm
darling.
so sorry, Tamara.
Both
so sorry.
your parents and your best friend. Oh, that's so hard.
So tough. And I mean, that's the hope behind a community here, everyone talking, is that there's some capacity to share and reach out beyond.
Jacqueline Clements, I feel sad at all special times of the year. I lost my lovely son in 2012 and things can never be the same.
Oh, sweetheart.
Because grief doesn't diminish. What is it they say? You just grow around it. You just grow around it.
You distract as well.
But the loss is always a loss, isn't it? That doesn't change.
No, not at all. Big hugs to Tamara. Big hugs to you. So I think it's. I mean, obviously, things like Vlogmas. We're all having a laugh. We're all getting on each other's tits, all that kind of stuff. But that it can be incredibly pressured, especially when you have headlines like "worse to come." Ned. Thanks for that. That's really true. Anyway, no. But the good news is Omicron. There's more and more sort of data coming through that the symptoms, the conditions, the sort of virility of it is less than we originally thought.
Tim Spector, who we used to quote a lot, didn't we, in the early days? He, he's in charge of the Zoe app, isn't he? So he's got all that sort of data going the whole time. And where is it here?
Rachel Baldock, I'm going to talk about that, thank you.
He posted something today saying that there was a super spreader. I can't find it now, so I can't tell you what part of the country it was. But basically he was saying how there was a super spreader event, a huge 60th birthday party. And 18 of the people there were PCR confirmed positive with Omicron. We should always have the backup trumpets for this.
Yeah.
And they've all had mild symptoms, and they were all over 60s.
Right, which is good news.
Yeah, and we
news,
just keep hearing this over and over again. So
whereas the press really want to do things like this. Omicron cases up by 50%, and then I looked at the top line number, it was 86. So because it's gone from 40 to 86, see what they did there? They didn't say just 86 cases discovered. They said up 50%. So fucking annoying.
Tina, I didn't manage to listen to the John Campbell yesterday, but I saw he had good news. It was entitled Good News, which is great.
Rachel Baldock says, did you see the article about the time traveller who's made predictions? I did, and I'll have a natter about that right at the end, see what Nadia makes of it.
I saw that and I
yeah.
didn't read it.
No, I knew you wouldn't. You're not into time travel, are you?
Well, I don't think anyone can time travel. That's why I call me crazy.
Yeah, no, I mean, I kind of agree, but it's kind of a nice sort of, idle sort of daydream, really. Travel tests are coming back in. Is this going to affect anyone? Is anyone travelling for family at Christmas? I mean, of all the times, I suppose, we've been encouraging there to be stricter rules. Nigeria has been added to the red list. I suppose the fear and the worry is for lots of people already abroad, coming back, could you go into quarantine, all that kind of stuff. I think it does dissuade people from travelling, doesn't it? Which I suppose is a good thing. I mean, we were banging the drum saying close down borders, close down flights, height of caution, height of precaution.
When it was Delta.
Well, when it was Delta, but also when we didn't really know what Crumpet Gate was going to be. I mean, there was one point...
Well, actually, I don't think we did do a lot of calling for that because they just acted upon it pretty quickly.
Yeah, they
actually.
did. But that's what I mean. I mean, the very thing we've been calling for.
But we were
did.
like that with Delta, weren't we? When the rumblings were there. I mean, the writing was on the wall. I mean, remember those images that we were getting from India and they didn't do anything. They just kept all the flights coming in. So it seeded right across the country. And that's what they didn't want to do, that seeding again, that potential.
Yeah.
So thank God. Thank God they acted quickly.
Just quickly, Ellen asks a sort of tricky question. If people could time travel, why aren't there people coming to now from the future? I think that's what this person on TikTok is suggesting they've done. It's interesting that they've chosen TikTok to... Anyway, we'll get to that story in a bit. I keep being drawn into it. Middle-class drugs, yuppie drugs. What do we think of that? Yuppie drugs so basically the government's having a crackdown on the whole drugs thing. I mean, I know you said, are they not focusing on the wrong part of the problem? But they are also focusing on county lines as well.
Well, there's a 10-year
battle plan.
I was just listening to the Labour shadow minister, and she was saying, the increase in the last 10 years of drug use across the board is a real shocker. And she said it comes at the same time, in the same span of time where there was massive cuts and treatment. The thing is, you have to invest in treatment. Like, if you send, let's part the middle class cocaine user, dinner party user thing at the moment, because I do think that's the other end of the problem, to be quite honest. But prisons are filled with people that have the disease of addiction. Yeah. What does that actually, where does that get us? With the problem of addiction? Nowhere, except that the people that sell it will probably have somebody come out the other side as even more addicted.
Yeah, but the government, you know what the government are going to do? The police are going to, they're going to get powers to, when they arrest a drug dealer, they're going to gain access to their phone and they're going to call everyone on the phone to give them both a scare as to what the potential punishment would be, but also to alert them to the fact that they potentially need to go and seek help. Now, that's not necessarily going to solve it.
What?
But
where are all these police coming from that are going to do all this? Pardon?
They're going to be arresting people at bus stops for misogyny. I mean, there was a big question here.
Okay, so how much money is being put into that?
Yeah.
It's just...
Natalie Prince, look at this. Took my child to a panto and there were people outside it taking drugs, and then on the walk back there was a needle on the floor as well.
It was like the other day, I went out really early to get my car and there was this woman waddling towards me. She probably was in her late 50s, early 60s. And she was smoking as she walked towards me, and I thought, bloody hell, imagine still smoking at that age, at that weight, she's brave. And anyway, as she walked past me, she puffed a great big puff of ganja in my face.
Oh my God.
She was smoking a spliff.
Wow.
6:30 in the morning and making her way towards the bus stop. I thought, she's just going to stand at that bus stop smoking a spliff with the kids that are waiting to go to school. It is ridiculous.
Gabrielle says the police need to hunt out the manufacturers of the drugs, not the dealers. And the really important part of all of it, though, is as yuppies and middle-class people are sitting at their tables going, let's have an absolute line. you know, behind that there is, I think someone wasn't there a short film which traced it all the way back to the, you know, exploitation in the original country where this stuff comes from and all that kind of stuff.
It's the county lines.
Oh my God, check out the film County Lines, by the way.
Well, hang on. Warning.
Triggering.
It is so dreadful. I could only get halfway through it. And the images that I saw in that first half of that still flash up to me all the time now.
Wu-Tang Generator
Wu-Tang
raises an important point though. There are quite a few drugs organisations or legalising drugs pressure groups and what have you that argue that decriminalising a lot of the drugs would be the other way to help. And I wonder whether Wu-Tang Generators adults should be able to make informed decisions about what they put in their body. It's been proven worldwide that progressive policies are far more successful.
Yeah, that is true.
There's a fair point in there. I mean, I think that presupposes everyone who decides to put something in their body is in a sort of balanced frame of mind to kind of do it in a sensible way. I mean, I think addiction and addiction problems do stem from availability, and yet at the same time, if you've got a compulsion to fix something in yourself, you're going to find anything. And of course, the biggest one is alcohol. I think the hypocrisy around alcohol is what lends a lot of credence to people saying, well, legalise cannabis, You know, the thing about legalising things is that they can be manufactured within safer
But what about
regions.
decriminalising the users?
I think so. I personally think it's yeah. But then
But
how do you
but then-
incentivise people not to take it?
Yeah. I get confused by this question. Faith, yes, they are talking about taking away middle class users' passports and driving licences.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know. I mean,
Well, I
that
suppose
sounds a
they
bit
want
like
to.
headline grabbing. I mean,
Well,
what does it mean?
do you know, I mean, in a small way, I think there's something clever about that. I think, you know, it's going to stop Tarquin from going skiing, isn't it? And I think, you know, he's got to
No,
make.
but I mean, how's Tarquin going to be found out?
Well, because it'll be phoned, because he'll have phoned a dealer. He'll have been phoned by the police. He'll then be told your passport's fucked. Goodbye. And he'll be sitting there going, well, do I want to miss skiing, the après ski?
Well, God, I mean, that's the most important thing we should be focusing on, of course, not the county lines, not the kids that are vulnerable to the worst kind of the very worst kind of human beings. Honestly, watch County Line. That was such an eye-opener for me. I didn't even know that was going on.
Right, yeah.
Because basically they groom children. They groom children to become their mules.
They offer them scooters.
And they send them all around the country with drugs, carrying drugs. And it's a big problem, and it's getting worse.
And why, you ask? Because the police presence is obviously less concentrated in non-urban areas. Yeah.
But yeah, treatment. You know, there are so few treatment centres now. I mean, God knows how hard it is to go to a rehab on the NHS. You probably have to wait until you're almost dead.
Tracy Lynham, I'm a long-time morphine user for a chronic spine condition. I'm doing slow withdrawal because I want to get off it all and getting zero support, yet they're literally prescribing me whatever I ask for. Yeah.
God. What was that fascinating documentary? Well done. What was that fascinating documentary that we saw about the American opioid problem? You know, the overprescription.
Oh, yeah. The whole fentanyl?
That was
no. The company that set up the opioid, that's essentially almost one company behind the opioid crisis in America. Yeah, wasn't it The Pharmacist?
It's called The Pharmacist.
That's it, The Pharmacist.
Really
Yeah. Where is the film County Lines? Okay, what comes with a huge caution, but
Caution.
I believe you can find it either on, I think it's on Netflix or Apple TV.
It's brilliant. The acting is brilliant. It's a brilliant film.
And it's
I wouldn't advise us to watch it.
And it's a model of filmmaking that I kind of would like to pursue, because it was made by a guy who has worked in the drug-taking rehabilitation sector, if you like. He's kind of, he's worked with a lot of youngsters in that area. So that's a big story today.
Oxycontin.
Oxytocin.
I think it was, wasn't it?
I think you're right, Ellen. Yeah, that's right. But check out The Pharmacist. It's a real eye-opener, isn't it? It's a real eye-opener about how high up it goes and how legally sanctioned it was.
County Lines is currently free to watch on BFI Player.
Thank
for
you.
anyone wondering.
You are swift in the...
It gives you an absolute education.
Yeah, it does.
And I think if you've watched it, you'll just think, am I really that concerned about middle-class cocaine users? Nah.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's all integrated
Yes,
because the middle
yeah.
class drug
Are
users
funding
are
the
coming
dealers, yeah.
But then you've got the other
The
structural
county
problem.
lines kids are probably taking it to areas where that's, I mean, it is, you're right.
But
it's
you have
all
another structural
enmeshed.
problem that if as soon as say the middle class drug punishment worked and demand fell down, you've then got this terrible vacuum created for these youngsters who will probably be pushed into more riskier sort of scenarios to push the same amount of drugs.
How could it get any riskier than what we saw?
Yeah, no, quite. Anyway, so
Ooh,
so that's
I've
middle
got
class.